on the phone says it's time to start. Good morning, friends, guests, family, and the Center for Veterinary Health Sciences faculty and staff. Welcome to the class of 2019 White Coat Ceremony. I'm Dr. Chris Ross, the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, and I'm pleased to welcome all of you to the class of 2019 White Coat Ceremony. A little housekeeping item first. When we're done, could the guests stay in their seats while we reassemble the students out in the lobby for their group photo? And then after that, we'll break up and socialize. So let's celebrate this class of soon-to-be veterinarians. Now I'd like to recognize and call to the podium Mackenzie Yoakum. She's a student chapter of the American Veterinary Medical Association president, and she'll be followed by Dr. Yolanda Burton, who's the president of the Oklahoma Veterinary Medical Association.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. So first I'd like to say good morning and welcome to the class of 2019 White Coat Ceremony. I know you guys are going to hear that a lot this morning. So I have had the pleasure to hang out with all of these students for the last 2 days for their orientation, and I have to say that they are extremely excited to start this chapter of their lives, and I am very excited to see where they go. So as we get closer to the time where each of these accomplished students get their white coat, everyone should take a moment to fully realize the depth of this achievement. Many of these students have dreamed of this day from the time that they were toddlers, and they will now become a part of a group of elite professionals. Students, all of you will experience the commitment that it takes to succeed in this profession, but you will also experience the joys of finally being able to put your mind to a passion that you have held for years. Remember the joy that you have at this day. It will take you through the next 4 years. As you look around at your neighbors, realize that they will become more than your coworkers and your classmates. They will become the people that you trust the most and some of your best friends, and they will become part of your family. While each of you come from a different background and you have different interests, you'll find commonalities with each other, even if it's at 2 a.m. when you've resorted to cat videos to stay awake while studying for an exam. Don't forget to keep the joy that you have in life now. Always joke, always laugh, and take a break for ice cream every now and then. And learn each other's weaknesses and strengths. And remember that you're all in this together and you all have the same goal, to become a veterinarian. Take advantage of any of the opportunities presented to you. And while it seems like 4 years will last forever, it will go by in a flash. And you don't want to look back and have any regrets of things that you did not get to experience because you held yourself back from them. Yes, veterinary school is not easy, but it will also have some of your fondest memories. So get involved, study hard, find time to laugh, learn, and love, and remember that you have an entire community behind you rooting for your success. Thank you.
Hi. On behalf of the Oklahoma Veterinary Medical Association, I want to welcome you to one of the greatest professions I think there is, and one of the greatest schools that I think there is. And so enjoy your time here, study hard. I have no doubt when OSU gets finished with you over the next 4 years, you will be ready to be a veterinarian to serve your community. As the president of OVMA, I'm also here to remind you that as students at OSU, you become members of OVMA for the next 4 years. We have multiple things available to you to help you through. We are as concerned about your success as OSU is. One of the things we have are our newsletter, our communique. You will be receiving that once we sign you up. We also have a listserv, an email listserv, so you will be part of that and be able to read what's going on within your profession in the state of Oklahoma. We also have several opportunities for you to attend CE events, which are a great way to network and commingle with your fellow colleagues, those you may be working with in the future. We have the convention, which is in January. It will be in Tulsa this coming year. Students are invited to that at an extremely discounted rate, and so please take time to attend at least one day of some of these seminars. They're really a good opportunity for students to learn how the world works. There's also the summer seminar, which is here at OSU, a pretty easy one for you guys to attend, and so consider that as you go into this next summer. There is an equine seminar that's held during the summer as well, fall conference, which is also here at OSU, and Southwest Vet Symposium, which will be in Fort Worth this year in September, the end of September. And so look those things up, consider them. I know it's very hard to fit things in as students, but it doesn't get easier. And so these are things that are going to be important to you as you continue your career in veterinary medicine. Another very important facet of OVMA is our legislative voice. There are legislative issues that challenge and threaten our profession every year. And we are the voice to try to keep those at bay, to try to make veterinary medicine a profession that you can successfully complete throughout the rest of your life. It's important for us to have a joined voice where we can let them know what we need as a profession and how we can be the most successful. The OVMA also has a pet overpopulation fund where veterinarians can provide low-cost spay and neuters for low-income families. And we hope that you can look into that program, and as you go out into your career over the next 4 years, consider giving back to your community. One of the really neat things I think OVMA also offers is students are allowed to participate in the birthing centers at the Oklahoma State Fair as well as the Tulsa State Fair. You can sign up for those online on our website. You get to help the other doctors. It's a great learning experience. They assist in the births, and they also have a surgery suite that's performed 2 to 3 times a day at these fairs over the 10 days of the fair. So look those up and sign up. We love to have students there. The veterinarians in Oklahoma love to teach you guys and give you more experience in addition to what your professors are offering you at this school. And so we look forward to you joining the OVMA and being part of this profession with us. Congratulations and have a successful journey.
Thank you much. Great leadership is fundamental to the cultivation of a rich educational environment that fosters professionalism and scholarly achievement. The Center for Veterinary Health Sciences is fortunate to be led by a group of administrators who inspire greatness, both in our faculty and also our students. I would next like to acknowledge the administration of the CVHS. When I call your name, please stand and be acknowledged. First of all, Dr. Jerry Malayer, who is the Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Education. Dr. Keith Bailey, who's the Director of the Oklahoma Animal Disease and Diagnostic Laboratory. Dr. Martin Furr, who's the Department Head of Physiological Sciences. Dr. Reed Holyoke, who's the Department Head of Veterinary Clinical Sciences. Dr. Todd Jackson, Animal Resources, and OSU veterinarian. He's the Director of Animal Resources. And finally, Dr. Mark Neer, who's the Director of the Boren Veterinary Medical Teaching Hospital. Let's acknowledge these folks, please. Unable to be with us here today, but sending their regards are Dr. Gene Sander, who's our Dean, and Dr. Jerry Ritchie, who's the Department Head in Veterinary Pathobiology. I would also like to recognize those faculty members who will be crucial to these students' education in the next year. Would those first-year instructors who are in attendance please stand and be recognized? And I'm Thank you. Before I begin, I would like to express my appreciation to the Oklahoma Veterinary Medical Association, the Center for Veterinary Health Sciences, and various individuals for their support of this event. The individuals who contributed to the purchase of coats are listed on the back of your program. A special word of thanks is due to Mariel, LTD, represented today by one of our graduates, Dr. Greg Campbell. Dr. Campbell. Mariel was a major supporter of the Cowboy Vet program that took place on Wednesday and Thursday as part of our orientation. and provides many other sources of support to our students in their development. Support was also generously provided by Nestle, Purina, Royal Canin, and Zoetis. And Rocky, would you stand when you recognize group? That was one of our graduates, Dr. Rocky Bigby, who works for Zoetis. Finally, let me give a special recognition to Mr. Joe Hall, who is the chairman of the Oklahoma A&M Board of Regents. Mr. Hall, would you stand, please? Thank you. Finally, the faculty, staff, and students who have worked for literally months on our recruiting and admissions process that culminates in this group of students that you see here, and on the planning and execution of orientation and white coat activities. These folks are dedicated to the success of the incoming students who are honored today. Would all who participated in any of these functions please stand for applause. Okay, I'm going to talk about the white coat. Let me outline the symbolism of what a white coat means. About 200 years ago, the practice of medicine could not have been called a science, but was more of a collection of practices, traditions, beliefs, and superstitions that sometimes help but more frequently harm the patient. The word iatrogenic was coined to refer to pathologies that arise from the activity of the physician. Not to pick on physicians, veterinary medicine was even further removed from science and reason at that time, and one nickname for a veterinarian during this period was the term horse leech. That refers to the practice of bloodletting that was popular in veterinary and human medicine alike at that time. With the rise of the scientific method and systematic inquiry into the worth of commonly accepted practices, the professions of medicine and veterinary medicine found themselves badly in need of some evidence-based procedures. And you'll hear this in advertising for medical and veterinary schools even today, and in need of an image makeover. Okay? Medical doctors adopted the laboratory coat to symbolize their kinship with scientists and their acceptance of the scientific method in critical thinking. Many veterinary scientists likewise adopted the laboratory coat as their working uniform and emblem. Over the years, the color of the coat evolved from black, okay, through symbolizing the somber prognosis common to the day, bad outcomes, and also to hide blood and dirt. Okay? Over the years, the color evolved to white, which symbolizes purity, knowledge, and cleanliness. This evolution also paralleled advances in biomedical science that led to improved care, management of disease, and hope for an eventual cure. The white coat has power. Okay? It can send a patient's blood pressure outside normal ranges. We call that white coat disease. Okay? It's a stress response. Another stress response is white coat hyperglycemia. Your blood sugar goes up. And finally, there's a term, white coat compliance, meaning that you're more apt to follow directions if they're delivered by someone who's wearing a white coat. Positively, the donning of a white coat also signifies the joining of a professional family. And I hope that you will feel the sense of family throughout your time at OSU CVHS and beyond. This is your first white coat, okay? And you can look at it as a symbol of the opportunity that you have earned and that the OSU CVHS is providing and working with you to gain preclinical training. You've worked hard to get there. It's good that you know how to work hard because it doesn't get any easier from here on out. The second white coat will be presented to you at our transition ceremony at the beginning of your fourth clinical year. It will symbolize your opportunity to develop your clinical skills through management of real cases and real animals. The goal of all this training is for you to become a confident and competent veterinary medical professional. You can't be a complete professional without both attributes. Confident doesn't always mean right. Sometimes it means having the courage to advance an educated guess. And sometimes it means that you have to say, I don't know, but I'll find out. Okay? The final white coat will be your graduation regalia, which you will wear as you step from our doors into the big real world of a graduate veterinarian. After you receive your white coats, I will ask you to take an oath. If you listen to it and agree with what it says by repeating after me, actually, you just need to agree with me, okay? Or not, but please do. You're essentially entering into a contract that will govern your time as a professional student at OSU CVHS. It's important as you listen to the oath to recognize that it holds you to a high standard of professional behavior while you are a student. You will be administered another oath, the veterinarian's oath, at the time of your graduation. I think it's entirely proper to take this particular oath at this time. Sorry. Because the faculty and others at OSU CVHS have similarly agreed to a compact that you will be treated with the respect that you deserve, that the animals under your care will be treated with compassion, respect, and competent skill. All involved in this educational enterprise are committed to the lifelong improvement of our professional skills and to the use of our knowledge and skill for the benefit of society, both animals and people. At this time, I am pleased to present the students of the class of 2019 for coding. Thank you. Are we ready? Okay. First up is Ashley Adair, and she will be coded by her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Larry Adair. Next is Philip Adolph. He will be coded by Dr. Katrina Meinkov. Next is Corey Anderson, who will be coded by his uncle, Dr. Reed Holyoke. Karen Anstead will be coded by her sister, Dr. Jennifer Miller. Aubrey Balch will be coded by one of our faculty members, Dr. Todd Jackson. Sorry. Amanda Barnes will be coded by another one of our faculty, Dr. Kim Carter. Marshall Basham will be coded by Dr. Keith Bailey. Tyler Bell will be coded by his parents, Ms. Sherry Gillum and Tad Bell. Morgan Bertram will be coded by Dr. Greg Campbell. Brandy Blaisdell will be coded by Dr. Ken Bartles. Christopher Bottoms will be coded by his mentor, Dr. Melissa Tillotson. Paul Bouchereau will be coded by his mentor, Dr. Heather Kopp. Shelby Bowen will be coded by Dr. Greg Campbell. Ayla Brown will be coded by her father, Dr. Matt Brown. Julia Bunbury will be coded by her parents, Dr. and Mrs. John Bunbury. Kylie Bird will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Stephanie Rollins. Caitlin Campbell will be coded by our faculty member, Dr. Martin Furr. Tyler Carnahan will be coded by his father, Dr. Michael Carnahan. Christian Cook will be coded by Dr. Reed Holyoke. Zachary Croslin will be coded by his mentor, Dr. Casey Fussell. Erica Davidson will be coded by Dr. Todd Jackson. Jessica Davis will be coded by her mother, Ms. Pam Wareham. Mary Beth Davis will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Rocky Bigby. Shannon Davis will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Bob Kropp. Stephen Dilday will be coded by his mentor, Dr. Rebecca Hines. Kelsey Eastwood will be coded by Dr. Jim Lish. Riley Eccles will be coded by Dr. Jerry Malayer. Nicholas Elroy will be coded by his mentor, Dr. Lyndon Graff. Amber Evans couldn't be here today because she's on ROTC duty, and she sends her regrets. Lauren Foley will be coded by Dr. Mark Neer. Bailey Fuller will be coded by her parents, Ms. Lenita Hobza and Mr. Doug Fuller. Tabitha Garner will be coded by Dr. Todd Jackson. Emily Grubbs Palmer will be coded by Dr. Greg Campbell. Kristen Hack will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Janice O'Melia. Samantha Hancock will be coded by Dr. Keith Bailey. Amanda Hayes will be coded by Dr. Ken Bartles. Reagan Himmelberg will be coded by Dr. Kim Carter. John Hobbs will be coded by his father, Mr. John Hobbs. Catherine Holly will be coded by Dr. Kim Carter. Amanda Hunter will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Jennifer O'Kane. Kendra Huseman will be coded by Dr. Martin Furr. Alexis Jennings will be coded by Dr. Todd Jackson. Jessie Jenny will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Reed Holyoke. Samantha Kimball will be coded by her mother, Ms. Jennifer Kimball. Casey Landis will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Craig Dick. Kelly Lewis will be coded by her aunt, Dr. Judy Lewis. Irene Lopez will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Mike Jones. Chelsea Lufkin will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Katrina Minecoat. Laura Lynn will be coded by her mother, Mrs. Kelly Vincent. Kelsey Marshall will be coded by Dr. Jim Lish. Smooth. Crystal Matt will be coded by Dr. Jerry Malayer. Sean McCluskey will be coded by his father, Mr. John McCluskey. Ryan McElroy will be coded by his mentor, Dr. Mike Jones. Benjamin McGehee will be coded by his father, Dr. Bill McGehee. Ketty Mercado will be coded by her family, Hugo, Ketty, and Kemmel Mercado. Faith Millard will be coded by Dr. Katrina Minecoat. Meredith Mulhusen will be coded by Dr. Mark Neer. Joshua Morris will be coded by Dr. Todd Jackson. Parker Mullins will be coded by Dr. Keith Bailey. Bethany Nichols will be coded by Dr. Ken Bartles. Mia Oatby will be coded by Dr. Greg Campbell. Adrian, or Addie, Palmer will be coded by Dr. Kim Carter. Jesse Patton will be coded by Dr. Martin Furr. Lindsay Pease will be coded by Dr. Reed Holyoke. Nicole Piguet will be coded by Dr. Mike Davis. Misty Quering will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Jessica Arnold. Kaylin Rackley will be coded by her grandfather, Dr. Dick Kirby. Cassandra Rodenbaugh will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Jim Lish. Cameron Ross will be coded by Dr. Jerry Malayer. Margot Ryan will be coded by Dr. Katrina Minecoat. Abby Sizo will be coded, I'm sorry, I skipped, no, we're good. Abby Sizo will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Chet Thomas. Carly Schuler will be coded by Dr. Mark Neer. Justin Scott will be coded by Dr. Ken Bartles. Marshall Sefcik will be coded by his mentor, Dr. Sammy Crosby. Rachel Shoemaker will be coded by Dr. Todd Jackson. Showman will be coded by her mother, Ms. Victoria Roberts. Elizabeth Sherrod will be coded by Dr. Keith Bailey. Laura Lynn Simpson will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Eli Landry. Alexis Sorois will be coded by her friend and mentor, Ms. Bethany Gordell. Hunter Smith will be coded by his father, Dr. Sean Smith. Rebecca Smith will be coded by her mentor, Dr. G.C. Bond. Jillian Spencer will be coded by Dr. Mike Lorenz. Mike, why don't you show us your socks? Show us your socks. Rayla Stahl will be coded by Dr. Mike Lorenz. Mike's one of our former deans. Amanda Stanfield will be coded by her husband, Mr. William Stanfield. Ashley Supan will be coded by Dr. Greg Campbell. Katrina Tropey will be coded by her father, Mr. Michael Tropey. Leslie Van Sickle will be coded by her mentor, Dr. Charles Freeman. And finally, Austin Webb will be coded by his brother, Dr. Brad Franklin. Let's give all these new white coats a big round of applause. Just a comment. You can tell how much support it takes to get to where we are today. Family, friends, mentors, faculty. That's the village that's going to get this done, and everybody is to be congratulated for that. Just some closing remarks. Some overarching themes of the educational experience at CVHS are the acquisition of knowledge and skills, development of leadership, and and development of a strong sense of service. We all know how exciting and daunting the enterprise is of becoming a skilled, confident veterinarian. What is not so obvious is the very real process of becoming a servant leader in this profession. Veterinary colleges are constantly being urged by accreditors and others to use leadership, experience, and talent as a criterion for admission, and we do that. We also are encouraged to institute leadership training into our already packed curriculum. In my view, there's a tremendous amount of leadership training going on under our noses. There are currently more than 20 formally recognized professional emphasis groups and college and class leadership groups, and I need to add that the ambassadors are an important part of our leadership squad. Many of these have been organized during my 8-year tenure here, and one happens to be the founding chapter of a nationally chartered club. I can confirm that founding groups like these takes a tremendous amount of energy, mentoring, organization, and follow-through, and a large and meaningful amount of leadership training has taken place as a result. Not only by all the officers of these groups, but also by the followers who are leaders in their own roles. Few things are accomplished by one person these days. Working in teams is all about leadership by everyone in the group. Finally, service. In our world and many others, there are many different kinds of service, and the component of service is obvious. There's clinical service, diagnostic service, specialized service, public service, pro bono service, and on and on and on and on. There are also many types of service that are more broadly defined. It's simply unthinkable that given the talent of intelligence that these folks have, and the drive to succeed in academia, one should not eventually put that to work in service to one's community at large, whether it be one's profession, town, or country. Inform yourself, be active, give back, and pay forward. I'll close with some unsolicited advice that's, I'm sure it's not new to me, but I've forgotten the source of it a long time ago. When you work with animals, the person that's helping you is frequently not the most wealthy or important person in the barn, okay? But you should always remember to treat these people with respect and kindness that they deserve, because remember, they're the ones that are holding the horse, okay? Okay, this is where I would like for you to stand and just listen to what I'm saying, and if you agree with it at the end, indicate your agreement. This is a veterinary student oath that is adapted from the college at Washington State. They gave me permission to use this a long time ago. As a veterinary student at Oklahoma State University Center for Veterinary Health Sciences, I promise to work conscientiously to develop my scientific and medical knowledge and skills for the benefit of society through the protection of animal health, the relief of animal suffering, the conservation of animal resources, the promotion of public health, and the advancement of medical knowledge. Throughout my time here as a student, I will conduct myself with the dignity and professionalism and in keeping with the principles of veterinary medical ethics. I accept as a lifelong obligation the continual improvement of my professional knowledge and competence. Do you agree? Thank you much. Please be seated. As we draw to a close, thank you all so much for joining us in celebrating the class of 2019 this morning. Students, we look forward to getting to know all of you over the next 4 years, and we all wish you the best of luck. Finally, guests, let me remind you to stay put while we go get a group picture taken of these students, and then everybody's free to go. Thank you all, and have a great day.